Hey everybody, it's Jason Justak, and today we are going to talk a little bit about EXP and talk to you about some of those answers you all been asking about. And who better to bring on board than the regional director, Frank Panuto. What's happening, my man?
Hey, Jason, how are you, man? Thanks for having me today. I really appreciate it. And
Thank you.
We get to talk about stuff that we live every day, right?
You know it, man. It's great. And I appreciate you having the time today too. So yeah, let's get into it, man.
100%. So, we spend all day talking to people and we look at it as a gift, do we not? It's like, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around it. People are trying to understand, I don't understand this model and I'm hearing all these cool things about it, but what really does it do for me and how does it affect my life? So let's try to answer some of those questions today. I always like to start with kind of like a little bit of the history of the company. So, because you hear everybody say that, we have the most Asian-centric company out there. I would challenge that because I think we do. And I say that for a couple of reasons, Jason. One is, our founder was a high-producing real estate agent. So when he developed this company, he came from the perspective of what do Asians need? And as being a part of the executive board, I'm privileged to be in meetings with Glenn and with all the leadership of the company. And I can tell you this: that every time we have a meeting, Glenn asks one question: how does that benefit the agent? How does that benefit the agent? How does it? So we constantly hear that. If it's not something that helps the agent out, then he's not interested, and that's awesome. And I get to hear that firsthand. And the other way that the proof is in the pudding is that 50% of all the revenue that comes into this company goes back to the agents. I know we're going to touch on that a little bit later, but think about that. 50 cents on every dollar that came in went back to the agents. That's an incredible,
huge.
It's unbelievable. It changes people's lives. So I know we're going to get to that in a little bit, but just a little bit of the history. We've been around since 2009, and now we've grown to over 87,000 agents worldwide. It's incredible. We're in 23 different countries and growing. It's so much fun to be a part of, don't you think?
I love it, man. I can't believe it. I'm going on 5 years, and when we joined, it was just shy of 9,000 agents. So to see that explosion of growth, and the thing is, Frank, it's still early, right?
Yeah. It was funny because I first got introduced to the company years ago, and there was about maybe 8,000 agents at that time, and at that time I didn't join. And I was like, it's kind of early and I don't really get it, which we hear that a lot, right? Now I joined and we're at 80,000 plus agents. And I keep saying to myself, man, I should have joined when there was 8,000 agents. But I can tell you this, I know where we're going. And I don't want to be that person when we're at 500,000 or 1 million, looking back and going, man, I should have joined when there was only 87,000 agents.
Right.
So I'm happy to be in now, that's for sure. But let's talk about this. So a lot of questions that we get to that. And it was one of the issues that I had when I was starting. I didn't understand the whole virtual thing. I didn't get it. So let's talk a little bit about virtual offices and how it affects your business.
So many traditional mindsets, are used to that office. And look at 2020, what that brought us was that we all got quarantined, right? And we had to figure out how to work from home. Well, with EXP, we already had that idea. So I love it because you can work from anywhere, whether it's a home office, whether it's a brick and mortar office, whether it's a coffee shop, a house. You could pull up your stuff and get information there. Maybe you might be in your car and you need to hit a meeting. And our virtual office, EXP World, is there. I mean, it's got so much accounting, technology support, all the training rooms, state classrooms. That's just the tip of iceberg, and it implodes over there. So what it meant to me was, yes, a mind shift. I was used to kind of that four-wall corner office, if you will. But once I opened my mind and came into it, I was just like, all right, cool. This is accessible. And that, I think, was a big difference, because to have everybody at my fingertips was huge. You and I talk a lot on our EXP workplace, which is Facebook for EXP, right? So what a great way that Jason, little old realtor from Indiana, could talk with the regional director. I've reached out to Glenn Sanford himself. I've talked to, other people, our president of growth, all these guys, these men and women in leadership positions that if I was in a different setting, probably wouldn't give me the time of day. And these guys and gals are reaching and talking to me and helping me grow. Amazing efforts there. So that virtual platform is just tremendous, I believe.
Yeah, I love it too. And you talk about accessibility, and a lot of companies, especially traditional or franchise models, whatever, it's not even so much that you can't get to the people, you don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't even know where to go. Where, like you said, in the EXP world, all you gotta do is hit a button and you're talking to somebody. I was literally on with the IT department before I got on this call with you because I was having an issue. I got somebody in less than 10 seconds. I'm not even kidding. I couldn't believe how fast I got someone. My problem was fixed like that. No problem. So the accessibility of it and the convenience of it is awesome. And then you talked about mindset, which I think is critical, because I think when you realize that the four walls are gone, the possibilities and the opportunities and the way that you think about business is completely different. And when you can understand that and absorb that, wow. I mean, what a difference it makes, right?
100%, man. And you need to open that mind and look at it differently. We're all used to things that we're used to. I get it. But yeah, if you're able to adjust, your business could grow tremendously, exponentially.
100%. So let's jump into lead gen. A lot of people ask about lead gen. You got this whole platform. Or say, what do you guys do for lead generation? So let's talk about what you and your team are using, and let's get into that a little bit.
Lead gen's huge for all of us as realtors, whether you're an online lead call guy, if you're a sphere guy or gal, any of that is lead gen is our bloodline, man. We need it to survive in this business. So we know this is one of our pillars in EXP. We want you to get leads. If you want to pay for them, we've got it. If you need ideas, we've got it. And what I do too, man, I mean, I'm telling everybody, hey, let's help with open houses. Let's get you in with lead gen there. EXP also offers, I'm a big online lead guy. And if you want to call leads, we've got a program called Making It Rain. So, and you could pay, they've got different installments of dollars. So we could always get into that conversation. But what better way to get automatic leads coming in than right there with the Making It Rain program? That's something that I'm part of with my team. So I could grow my team to get them leads to make those calls. Now, I get it all the time. Hey, phone calls aren't my game and aren't the way I want to go. Cool. What if you need help with Google? What if you want to implement your game with YouTube or any other social media platform? We've got the support. We've got people that are experts in this area that are willing to share this. And I know we're going to dive into support as well, but this just goes hand in hand because we've got these classrooms. And again, we're going to go into training too. We've got these. So who's going to benefit from it? You, the agent. And that's why, again, we're agent centric, because we are focused on you and your vision. Frank, if your vision is, hey, I just want to go and work my sphere, great. Let's work that sphere and let's make it happen. Hey, Jason, I want to learn online leads. Great. Frank and I, we're partnering together. He's great as a sphere. I'm great on the online leads. Let's work together. And now our businesses both grow because we're learning from each other. That's amazing. So, the lead gen is so many different directions. And that's what I love about it. You, again, open that mind and it's going to open doors. Easy as that.
There's other avenues, right? And then you talk about KV Core. So we have a CRM system for you, you have the front end of it, which is your website. You have the back end, which is a CRM, which is a lead generating machine if used properly. You're talking about Revenos, where we have Relo and we have REO and we have all these other opportunities there. You're talking about a military division that goes international. You're talking about a luxury division that goes international. And then the other thing, let's talk about referrals.
I was just going to go there.
Go ahead. Go.
Man, referral networks are huge. In 2022, referrals were my #1 source of lead gen, honest to goodness. And that's because when I'm meeting people at our conventions, at our EXP Con and that stuff, I'm building those relationships. And then we're becoming friends. And then they say, oh, hey, somebody's looking in Indiana, and they're tagging me on these referrals. Cool. I'm making those connections. our referral network is the hottest in the market. I know it for a fact because there are so many great people on it, and in it, it just sets off the border, man. It's dynamite.
Yeah, so that's a great transition into our whole training program, right? So, one of the things you talk about when you talk about referrals, you're talking about our network and our collaboration. So even though, yes, we do have the in-person events that we do, but you and I talk every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and we're talking to 40, 50 people across the country. That's just one opportunity when we know that there's 50 plus live trainings every single week. And that's not including the mastermind sessions that go on. So when we're talking about people that we're talking about, you have somebody, in your organization that's over in Spain, right? So, your organization's big. It's not just in this country. So you not only are you nationwide, but you're international. So now you have somebody from Spain coming to America. Who are they going to call? Ian's going to call you. If you have somebody going there, who are you going to call? So the referral network, just off the collaboration and the weekly conversations that we're having, the opportunities are incredible. Where in a traditional setting, you might have to go through a third-party reload company. You don't know the person that you're sending your referral to. You have no relationship with that person. I don't know about you, Jason, but I'm a bit of a control freak when I have my clients. I want to know what's going on. So it's nice to be able to, if I send somebody to Indiana, hey, Jason, I want you to take care of my cousin, that you're going to handle it and you and I are going to talk about it.
100%. And what I love too is because of that ownership piece that we have, that, hey, if we send a referral, we could work out that percentage, whatever you want it to be.
Sure.
20%, 10%, 30%, 50%, who cares? Whatever. This is our business to work together and make it happen. So that's a big piece, I think, on the referral too.
Well, so you're also touching on the culture part that we talked about before, right? So the fact that we're not a franchise, that we are one company, you and I are business partners. We both own a piece of this business, right? By the way, great to be in business with you. So when you think about that, but that adds to the culture and the accessibility of talking to people all over the country and in different countries on that referral network thing, right? And we're talking about training. So we're talking about those live trainings that are happening with people working in the industry every day. We're talking about all the recorded stuff that we've had. And I don't care if you're a brand new agent or you're 100 million, 200 million. We have organizations doing $1 billion in sales themselves. We have everything from A to Z. So the one thing I love about this company is, you go to a traditional office. What if you're the number one agent in that office? Who's your peer group? Who do you lean on to get bigger? Nobody. What if you're the new agent? You're afraid to ask somebody to bother them. I don't want to bother somebody because they may not have time for me. Or you're that middle person that doesn't know which direction to go in. We have a mentor program that's mandatory for our new agents. So you have that support, right? We have people at every different level of production in this company, and we can help everybody. So to me, that's a big, big deal.
Huge, man. And don't forget the coaching platform, Success Coaching, we have as well. So, it all ties together. The strategies that have been implemented to build EXP have just been amazing. And it's just, again, early adapter where we're going to continue to grow and blossom even bigger. Why? Just from what you said at the beginning, because Glenn is listening. And how does it affect the agent? Boom, we need coaching. We got Success Coaching. Let's get Jarek Robbins to run all of Success. Wow, what an amazing accomplishment. So things like that are really going to help anybody, especially like you mentioned, a top producer that's tapping that glass ceiling. Well, cool. Now they're going to come in. They're going to become that owner, that entrepreneur, and grow 10x, and take it to their new level.
Yeah, and I've talked about this many times. I'm always amazed by the quality of the agents that are with us and the level of the conversations that we have. It's actually mind blowing, and without trying to sound salesy, right? Because you really don't get it. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you're in here. But to be in those meetings with that level and to have those kinds of conversations is priceless to me. Which, so we talked about lead gen training. With training, always the next question is always about support. Right. So you alluded to before about EXP World, which is our kind of virtual corporate office. We have access to IT. We have access to accounting. We have access to all the support that we need. The one thing I do love that people don't understand, I want to make sure we clarify, every state has their own individual brokers, live human beings that answer your questions. And all they do is focus on compliance and making sure everything's in line. That support and the fact that they have meetings on a weekly basis. So you know what's going on in your market. if there's any law changes, any contract changes, the amount of support that you have from your brokers is off the charts. And the nice thing about our model is that's all they do. So they can singularly focus just on that.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, just there times and accessibility means everything, because you never know when your back's against the wall, whether it's an offer or that compliance factor, or it's the top of the year. You tap into it, and you learn, you grow, and you're like, all right, cool, I'm in compliance. Yay, here we go. And they have your back every step of the way. And it's just great to establish that rapport with those managing brokers and be able to help each other out. And that's, again, part of that collaboration, the support. And look at who I'm talking with on the other side of this camera, the regional director. We talk, like you said, we talk every Tuesday at 1, but here we are. We're putting together this. And again, it's that collaboration. You're supporting me, man. That's awesome. I'm super grateful for these moments. And it continues to grow. And that's what we do. We help each other and rise those ships, right?
Well, and listen, I thank you for that. But there's a reason why because we are partners.
Yeah.
I mean, the bottom line is we are business partners. And when Jason wins, I win. And when I win, everybody wins. Like, we all win.
Likewise. Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's why it matters, and you're talking about support. So we have corporate support at your fingertips 24/7. You have broker support whenever you need it. You have agent support whenever you need it. Between the masterminds, between your own personal organizations. We're going to talk about uplines and downlines a little bit later, but you have people you can lean on. So the support thing is incredible. And I will tell you that it's more accessible in our model than any model that I've been affiliated with. And that's true.
And I love it, man. I mean, just to have it all access at all times.
Yeah.
Who is available that way? Nobody except us. So it just goes to show you that it's different mindset to be able to keep that agent-centric focus.
No question. So keeping that theme, let's move on to our compensation package. Okay.
Right.
And you and I have that language that we use, compensation package, because most people call it a commission split. But we are so much more than just commission. And we know that. We know we have different revenue streams, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But for this portion of the compensation package, why don't you talk about what the commission structure looks like here at EXP?
Absolutely, man. And it's as simple as this. A $16,000 cap, 80-20 split. 80% goes to the agent. And again, this is here in the US. 80% goes to the agent, 20% goes to EXP. Awesome. Now we do have a couple fees. We have $85 a month for our tech support. That goes to EXP World, all of our training. It goes to our Sky Slope. It goes to our EXP Enterprise. I could open up numerous doors of what that $85 goes to, because that $85 is nothing.
Well, I think KV Core alone is probably $150 to $200 a month anywhere else. So just for that.
You're exactly right. So that's included. So much is there. So that's the $85 a month. Then we have a $25 per transaction broker review fee. What I love about this is that it's an extra set of eyes on a transaction.
Yeah.
If I start getting busy and here we are, it's time to pick up and, hey, all right, let's go. It's time to move. I've got 5-10 transactions going on this month. I might get a little sloppy, right? So if I put everything into the computer, into Sky Slope, which again is part of that $85 a month that goes into Sky Slope, the broker is going to check it out. They're going to make sure that I have the right documents in there. And if I don't, they give me a quick little email saying, oh, hey, Jason, you're missing the counter to 123 Main Street.
Yeah.
Cool. We're the only 2 people that know that I forgot to put that in there. Cool. Now I look like the hero. Now I stay on track to get this closed for our client, whether it's a seller or a buyer. We're on track to keep it closed and keep it professional. So for $25 to have extra set of eyes when I'm super busy, yes, pay it all day long. That's awesome right there. And then the other one we have is E&O insurance.
Yeah.
So that's $40 per transaction. And the cool thing about that is that it caps at $500. So again, it's part of the product of EXP. We reward you for productivity. If you're producing and you're selling 12, 13 homes, you're capping. Not only are you going to cap at the 16K, but you're also going to cap at your E&O. So you're going to save that per transaction. So we want to save you more money. So it's those things that motivate me on the inside to say, hey, cool, you're going to get me to 100%. When I sell 10 transactions, I will cap. That's our numbers here in Indiana. And we could work them out for you guys too. But 10 transactions to cap. Now I'm 100% with the company. And then I do 3 more. Now my E&O. So now I'm saving 40 extra bucks a month. Yay. Cool. You know, and so it's those little things that really just set us apart to, again, bring it agent centric and make it beautiful for all of us.
Yeah, I agree. It's they want to celebrate your success, right? So I know that was one of the reasons why I came to this model when I got here was, man, I was leaving a lot of money on the table with my previous broker for doing the same amount of work I'm doing now. I was making an extra X amount of dollars, right? So when you figure the math out, and you touched on it, the math is going to be different all over the country depending on what your average sales price and what that is. I mean, where I am in the Northeast, it's only about 2.8 million worth of volume. It's not a lot. When the average sales price is probably 435. So, it's not a lot of transactions, but it's pretty awesome. But let's talk about what happens when you cap and after you cap.
100%, man. That is what you go to. So if you're looking and you want to sell those homes, you become 100% with the company. So as you hit 100%, there will be a $250 per transaction fee. But when you're at 100%, what's 250 bucks? Right. That keeps the company, their longevity. And for all of us, the sustainability of the company too. So that's what that little piece goes into. It's just, and you're rewarded stock options for capping, for doing your job. You get a little reward. So yay. And then as that grows, that's just a huge nest egg, right?
Yeah, so let's jump into that, right? So you've did a beautiful job explaining how the commission structure works, but we talked about a compensation package, right? So we have multiple revenues stream of revenue. I'm sorry. So we've got our commission. Yep. We have company awarded stocks. So let's touch on that for a second. For doing what you're already doing anyway, the company, our agent-centric company, gives you stock. So every year, after you've done you got to 100%, and you're gonna recalibrate on your anniversary every year, right? But every year when you do your first transaction, the company gives you $200 worth of stock.
Boom.
They give it to you. You didn't pay for it. They gave it to you. Okay. For doing what you're already doing anyway. Yep. When you cap, the company gives you another $400 worth of stock for doing what you're already doing.
Love it.
There's $600 worth of free stock, right? So what happens when you do that 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years? You're putting that away. That's kind of our 401k plan, if you will, right? Yep. Because that's just money they gave you. You talked about capping, but now we're going to get into what's called icon. So why don't you touch on icon a little bit, and then we'll get back to the stock part.
Absolutely. So icon agent is our version of a top producer here at EXP. All right, just to keep it simple. And when you cap, so wherever you are, again, we can run those numbers and have it make sense. When you cap, you're now at 100%. When you do 20 extra transactions after capping, you become this icon agent. So, and what the reward is absolutely huge, because you have that potential to earn back $16,000 in stock, your whole cap back to you. So unbelievable.
How do you, you got to wrap your head around that, right? So again, for doing what you're already doing, so the way in your market, it's about 10 transactions to cap. Yep. We're talking about another 20 transactions to icons. So we're talking about 30 transactions, okay? Yep. Which is completely doable, and there's many people doing that. If you're watching this recording and you are somebody that does that level, think about what you're doing. You're paying yourself back in the form of stock. Yep. So we talked about company awarded stock, right? Now we're talking about stock. That's company award as well. And the way you earn that back is a couple of different ways. One is, we talked about the training in the beginning. So you paid $16,000. You get $8,000 back in the form of stock just for becoming an icon. So that's come back to you. Then there's two other things that we do. One of them is, we talked about the training, and it's kind of a cultural award is what we call it. So you'll get another $4,000 back by you giving back to the agents. Obviously, if you're an icon agent, you're successful and you know what you're doing. So all we ask is help us out.
Right.
Help your fellow agent, share your knowledge, train, coach, teach, and for that, you get rewarded. The last thing is you do is to attend a couple of our events, right? We have a couple of major events every year. We got one coming up in a couple of weeks, which is our shareholders event. And then we also have our EXP convention, which is every year. And that's just a mind-blowing event. It's hard to explain what goes on there. But the training, if you can't come back from EXP Con with action items that's going to improve your business, then you just didn't plug in, because what goes on there is incredible.
The collaboration itself is amazing. I mean, some of the VIP luncheons that we've had, I've met people from all around the world, sharing those business cards. It's just that. That's what feeds me. And then, you talk about these trainings and what's going on during it. Man, I wish there was about 10 of me at these conventions so I could take notes everywhere and be like, all right, cool, I've got all this stuff, because it's so amazing. And you just like our training, 60 hours of training each week, you're not going to go to all of it, but tap into what's important to you and your business. And that's where you will elevate and make it to that next level.
Yeah, no question. So let's get back to compensation. So we talked about a very aggressive, agent-friendly commission structure. We talked about company awarded stocks that they give you for doing what you're doing anyway. There's also an opportunity for you to purchase stock, which we call our agent equity program. So with that, every commission you get, you can take 5% of the commission and buy stock at a 10% discount. So again, you don't have to, but why wouldn't you? If you're already used to that, you're just putting money away. And the minute that you bought it, you made 10%. So a lot of people are like, oh, it's only 10%. I love making 10% of my money. I don't know about you, but especially in today's world, if I can make 10%, I'm thrilled. But again, what does that look like, Jason, 5 years from now, 7 years from now? You're accumulating all this stock. What does that look like? That's a big deal. So that's another way. So there's one more way that we talk about a lot that is probably the biggest reason why I came here, and that's called revenue share. So, I think the thing that I like to ask people, and the easiest way to start to explain it is, I always ask people the same question. Exactly how many houses do you have to sell for your company in order to become an owner? For us, it's one.
Yeah.
So, what does that mean? It means now we're business partners. You and I talked about that about 10 minutes ago, that we are business partners. You and I are shareholders in this company, not just the realty, but the entire EXPI. Every company associated with EXP, you and I get a piece of that. We're an owner in all of that. So the revenue share part of this is incredible. And I'm sure you would like to expand on that a little bit.
The revenue share is amazing. And, I think there's a misconception of what we do. We came out very big at the beginning, and people are always, oh, you guys are recruiting and all this stuff. Yeah. You don't have to bring people on, first and foremost. Again, this is just an opportunity. So when you have a friend, a colleague that wants to level up their game and become that entrepreneur, then RevShare steps in. Hey, Frank, come on over to EXP. Come check it out, and let's see how it feels for you, man. And that's it. It's that collaboration, because we're friends, we're colleagues, we've worked together, we've known each other. I'm helping you. And we want people with that right mindset to be able to come in and know that, man, I can grow. Now, there's other people that do just want to grow.
Sure.
And hey, and that's what EXP is going to award you on, is that growth. And that is dynamite. It goes 7 generations deep and infinite across. So you could just build and build and build if that's the direction you want. And then, if you're not sure how to get there, but that intrigues you, that's when you have a great sponsor. That's when you have a great upline to help you follow your vision again. And that's where we want to help connect those dots to say, hey, how can we get you more revenue for doing that same job? That revenue share is going to be great. And let me tell you this story too, Frank. 5 years ago, I joined. And if you were to tell me in 5 years, Jason, you're going to have people across the globe, you're going to be in 6 states, and you're going to be running your team, and you have a brokerage underneath you, I would have been like, Frank, get out of here. You're full of it, this is what's happened, man. 5 years ago, I had zero people. It was just me. I was on a team. I broke away from that team. One of the first people I brought in was a dear friend of mine from real estate school, and he saw it, boom, took on. And then it just started snowballing, started spreading the word, started doing transactions, getting noticed, all this stuff. Fast forward to today, 37 agents globally, numerous states. Gosh, I couldn't be more grateful for these opportunities because I never anticipated. I never looked into the future and saw that. Luckily, I had business partners that did for me, and they saw this vision before I did. And I have them to thank for that. And that's what we want to do too. You may not be looking ahead 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years, but let's see what that could look like. And that's going to be your game changer, because that's going to not only be important for you as an agent, but it's going to be important for your family, those other agents you're bringing on, their families, their friends, and it's just going to continue to grow. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, man, because this is what it's about. And when you could help those people, it just, it helps yourself. I mean, it's just so giving and awesome.
It's you call it game changing, and it is, and I also call it life changing. I've been here coming up on a year now, and the last 4 months my mortgage was paid for me, and that's short a period of time. I don't pay my mortgage anymore. The revenue share is paying it. I got 4 kids getting ready to college. It's a big deal to me, And when you talk about moments that stand out in your mind, you happen to be a part of one of them. Just about a week and a half ago, you, Ian, and myself were on a phone call together, right? So I'm in Little Delaware, the smallest state, right? The small wonder. And I'm on a collaboration phone call with a really good guy in Indiana and a guy in Spain. And we're having this conversation. It was like an outer body experience, that I'm looking down at myself going, this is real estate at the next level. Like, this is what I've always dreamed about. I just didn't think it was possible. Yep. So when you think about that, and you think about what this can be, and we also talk about production of tracks, right? So the Jason Justak organization services nationwide and internationally. That's production.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. And the other couple of things I would ask you, or I would mention is, we spend so much time building a business, and we work on it, we grind, and we're in that hamster wheel, and we go. This gives you the opportunity to build a legacy too, for your kids, for your family, residual income, passive income for the rest of your life. There's not many models that will allow you to do that. Certainly, I haven't seen any model that will do it with the ease of this, and it's such a clear path, and it's you're doing it anyway.
Right.
You're doing it anyway. You're talking to your friends and your sphere of influence within the industry and saying, hey man, why don't you come work with me? This is great. You're doing it anyway. You just get rewarded for it. So when you think about all these different revenue streams, and you think about the opportunity this company really gives us, it means a lot to me, and it's something I'm very passionate about. And I know you are too. And it's a gift, man. And I feel fortunate to be a part of it, really.
Absolutely. Totally. And it just continues to grow. And, it's one where we're doing these videos, and then when we see each other in person, give each other a hug. And it's just, it means so much more, I feel, because we are developing these relationships like this. And, you mentioned Ian in Spain, and it's like that, man, that I've met him and we talk all the time. We talk nearly daily, and we're business partners across the world. And I never would have fathomed that. So, it's, again, these doors. And you mentioned something too, that, hey, not a lot of people are going to compare to what we offer. And I don't think a lot do as a whole package. Look at the whole package, the rev share, the stocks, the equity awards, the 100%, all that stuff. Who's going to do that whole package? A brokerage may do one, but not all of them. Right. And so that's, again, look at the now, right? And say, how can I be rewarded for the same work I'm doing? I mean, it opened my mind, and it's opened a lot of doors for myself. And I love to share more with everybody that's watching.
Well, when you talk about the compensation package, now it goes back to the very beginning when we talked about the 50% of the revenue that comes in goes back to the agents. Now you understand a little bit better. Last year, that number equaled $202 million. $202 million went back to the agents last year. I mean, listen, our founder could have put that in his pocket.
Right.
Doesn't have to share that with us. But that's not his vision. That's not his mission. And that's not why he got into this. So when we talk about this gift and sharing it with other people, that's what we're talking about. And that culture permeates down. And, you know, I feel fortunate to be a part of it. I feel fortunate to be a business partner of yours. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you today and to help explain this to some of the people that you're speaking to. And, you know, I'm here to support you any way I can and whatever we can do to help anybody else.
I love it, Frank, and I feed off these collaborations, and so thank you for everything you've done. I want to touch base too. You mentioned the numbers and things happening in EXP, you know, that all that revenue was given back. The cool thing is we're not in debt either.
No.
So that's the amazing thing, because if you want to look at numbers, I mean, again, we could drive into all that, but the company is ran, so we're not in debt. And you look compared to other companies that may be. So that's where, gosh, the knowledge of the leadership that we have to keep us trending upward, even in a down market. Cool. I like that. So I appreciate your time, Frank, and thank you so much for helping explain the model. And I know people are going to have more questions out there, and feel free to reach out anytime. Call me, text me, DM me, whatever is perfect for you. And we're happy to definitely explain more.
Well, thank you for your time, and let's rock on, brother.
Excellent. Thank you, Frank, so much. And yeah, I hope you continue having a great day, and look forward to our next collaboration.